Okay, what's going on here? Whew, I'm out of breath. Climbed up this mountain to give you guys a fantastic view. Not really. I'm parked like right down here. I just had to walk from there to here. Still out of breath though. It's kind of a bad sign. So here we are atop of Prospect Mountain here in Lake George. Took the Veterans Toll Road up to the top here. If you guys are ever in the area, be sure to come up. There's parking spots along the way, good hiking, and then of course incredible views. So why are we here? We are here for session 2 of questions and answers. I figure you guys would rather see some stuff like this than my ugly mug. You get enough of that. How much do you realistically think you can profit a month if you had 2 to 3 trucks running full time with one person in each truck? Very good question. There is another channel out there called Up Flip. They actually recently featured a young guy, younger than me, and he is running, I believe, 3 trucks. He's profiting about $120,000 a month. Realistically, you know, I don't think it's, if you're really hustling, if you're really marketing, I don't think it's unreasonable for each truck to have revenue of $20,000 a month. You're talking $5,000 a week. You're going to have employee pay come out of that, insurance, fuel for the trucks, chlorine. So you're going to be able to knock that down, I would say, at least $30,000 to $40,000 in profit per truck, potentially. All that is going to depend on how much you're paying people, what your insurance costs. All I can talk about it, I can just speculate, right? Because there's a lot of factors. I don't think it's unreasonable to be making, you know, $30,000, $40,000 in profit. That 120 that they're talking about, I don't believe is profit. It's got to be revenue. There's a lot of talk on YouTube about growing your business, getting out from behind the truck. Don't get blinded by the money. You can make, let's just say you're making $20,000 in revenue a month. After your expenses, 4, 5, 6 grand, your company's profiting around 14, 15, 16. Maybe you pay yourself a little bit and then keep $8,000, $9,000 in the company. Yeah, you got to go to work for that, but most likely if you guys are leaving your jobs to do this, you're not making that kind of money. So making that kind of money with one truck gives you a lot of freedom. You're making more money than you used to, and you're the only one. If you get blinded by the money and don't think about the whole picture, you get a bunch of trucks. Well, yeah, you might be out of the truck now, but you have guys calling in, they're sick, their kids are sick, the dog's sick, they're going out of town, they quit, they're hungover, they crashed the truck, they got pulled over for speeding, they cut someone off, and now they're calling you. I mean, they're not as careful as you, they're not working as good as you. There's a lot of benefits that come from growing your business and getting employees, but there's a lot of other headaches. When I come home, I'm tired. I immediately, you know, strip down, shower, and then I just relax. Maybe I edit some YouTube videos, hang out with the dogs, hang out with my wife, maybe do a little bit of invoicing. I don't believe, and I can't speak from experience because it's just me right now, but I would have to imagine that you have to be doing payroll and you have to be ordering 3 times the material, 3 times the amount of insurance. Your hoses are going to break. They're going to be, you know what I mean? Like, there's just stuff. So yes, you can profit. Yes, you can get out from behind your truck. But that doesn't mean, like, you're not just going to be able to sit back and watch TV all day while these guys are out working. So I know I've talked to some guys, and honestly, for whatever reason, they think that just because they have guys working for them, that they're not going to be working. You're going to be working a lot more, and you're really not going to be profiting that much because, again, you have to have expenses for that truck, and now that money that might have been going into your pocket is now going into someone else's pocket. So you have to peel off more and more money per truck. Most guys are not going to get out and do this kind of work for 20 bucks an hour. They're not going to get out and do it for 25 bucks an hour. I mean, maybe, but your quality is not going to be good as if you're the owner operator and you're pulling $800 from a gig, 600 bucks from a gig, 300 bucks from a gig in an hour. You know, you're going to work and you're going to be building your brand. You hire someone else, they're not going to give a crap about that. So can you make money adding trucks? Absolutely. That video is really good on Upflip. I would check that out. Just giving you my personal opinion. Just be sure that if you do want to multiply your business, that you think of everything. If you have 3 trucks and each truck has a full week, you know, you got 20 jobs, 15 jobs, and you have 3 employees, 1 for each truck, or maybe, you know, you need 2 guys for each truck, so the workload isn't so much for them. Well, if one of those guys quits or calls out or sick, now you have a vacant truck, so you better be available because you have to get out and go get in that truck and work. That's just the way I look at it. I'm not too interested in growing my soft wash business. I'm more interested in hustling, making money for myself, and then getting some passive income, rental properties, and start growing my means of making income a little differently. Maybe some food for thought for some of you guys. There are a lot of guys out there that could probably blow the heck out of a soft wash business. Just multiply it, 6, 7 trucks. There are guys across the country that do it. Just got to be able to, you just want to be sure what you're doing and have a good end goal in mind. It's not just as simple as getting a truck, getting someone in it, and then you think you're just going to be able to coast. I don't believe that that's where this question was going, but like I said, I want to give a nice detailed answer to some of these questions, and I think we did it there. Great job. So do you pre-wet, apply SH, and rinse? No soup? No, I no soup. I don't bring soup to my jobs. Just kidding. Have you done many woodwork like this? What's your thought about soft washing wood siding and cedar roofs? I'm a little bit afraid to work with cedar roofs here in Minnesota, but we have many of those. Thanks. I'm watching your videos on a regular basis. Okay, this I believe was a comment on a log cabin that I did. SH does a really nice job on the wood. You don't want to let it dwell that long. I really don't like to let it seep into the wood. And I do really emphasize rinsing it more and more and more than you normally would for vinyl or anything else. I know there's a lot of wood washing that goes on with SH. I don't think there's any issues there. Some guys have mentioned using a bleach neutralizer on the wood after you're done. I'm sure that could help. As far as the cedar roofs and cedar shake and all that, just as simple to wash. You really just want to be a-okay with your rinsing. I like to use 4 or 5% on that. It kind of seeps into the grain. It's kind of similar to doing a roof wash. Sometimes you might even need 6%, but you can really get a nice drastic change on wood as well as cedar shake siding. It can be some pretty good jobs for you guys. You really just want to be you want to stick around and rinse. I know I've said it a bunch of times, I don't use soap on vinyl siding house washes. I definitely would not recommend doing it on wood, only because you don't want to be leaving anything else in the grain. You put soap on wood siding, it's kind of going to seep in, and then as you rinse, it's just going to bubble, and it's a pain in the butt. Oh, here we go. No surfactant in house wash, less streaks on windows. Nice job. Yeah, I don't like surfactant on house washes. I just think it like multiplies the rinsing. Most of the house washes that I go to is visible mold, and it is visible algae. The surfactant isn't going to do anything to that. It's all up to the SH. The SH is going to get on that, break it down. You're going to rinse it off with water. Surfactant is really nice if the house is covered in pine needles and webs and bugs and stuff like that. The surfactant's nice and sticky. What a surfactant does is it pulls grime away from the surface, and then you rinse it away. So if you're working with a house that's got a lot of debris on it, a nice sticky surfactant is helpful. I mainly stick to surfactant on my roof washes, and that's it. Bro, how busy does direct mail keep you? Let's say you mail out 5,000 cards. I mean, how many jobs or how busy can you get out of that 5,000? What's the amount of locked in jobs? That's if you don't mind me asking. Thanks for the videos. All right, so this is a good question here. As far as locked in job goes, it's 0, right? You're not going to ever have a locked in job until that customer contacts you, you get a price, and you set a date. If you're doing 5,000 mailers, regardless if you're doing 5,000, 10,000, or 50,000, I always shoot for a 1% return, right? I don't want to say, oh, well, I might get 20%. I shoot for the lowest possible and hope to get more. 1% of 5,000 is 50, right? If you're averaging, let's say, $350 for a house wash, that's a $17,500 return off of 50 mailers out of 5,000. That's a 1% return. Now, in that 50 that you might land, you might have not a $350 house job. You might have a $200 deck, a $700 roof wash, doing some upsells. So that value could change from 17.5. It could go up and down. The problem with mailers is that what you send out this month is for next month and the months after. I sent out mailers in the beginning of the year, and I send them to certain areas, and I got calls weeks ago for mailers that I sent out months ago. So that 1% return does not mean you're going to get a 1% next month. You guys, you got to have a marketing budget, and if that budget is $500 a month, expect to get something reasonable of a return like that. If you're spending $1,000 a month, you're going to get a little bit more. If you're spending $5,000 a month on marketing, I know that's probably sounds crazy to you guys, but I spend about $4,000 to $5,000 a month on marketing, and my revenue is usually around 20, if not a little higher than 20K. It costs money to make money. Now, some guys are probably sitting there like, holy crap, 5K a month? I have $20,000 months and I only spend 500 or 600. I live in a busy area. We have a lot of wash companies here. I go from here an hour south all over. There's probably 30, 40, 50 wash guys in the area, guys that I don't even know about. So I need to spend a little money, and I'm making the money to be able to do so. But if you're going to try to run a business and actually start making buku bucks, you have to put the money out there, and you have to expect that that return isn't going to come right away. So every single month I spend between $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. That's on Facebook, that's on mailers, some lead services, yard signs. I'm going to start putting out some yard signs next season. I mean, you want to be doing everything. You want to be doing everything. So if you're sitting there spending $100 a month or $500 a month and you're not getting the revenue that you want, that's most likely why. You have to get your name out there. People need to see you and call you. They're not just gonna sit there on Google and dig around until they find you. You got to get yourself out there, whether that's SEO. There is a million ways you can market. You can letter your truck, you can fly a blimp over town, whatever you want to do. All that stuff costs money. Like I said, I aim for a 1% return, and if it goes up from there, that is good. But again, what you send out this month is for the upcoming months. So my season is about to be closing down here. We're going into winter. We got a bunch of plowing accounts this year. Probably February and March, I will start marketing. There's going to be 2-3 feet of snow on the ground, and I'm going to start marketing for house washes, and that is going to prompt my business for April, right? So once I get to April, I'm going to be spending money on marketing, and that's going to be for May and June, and that's how the cookie crumbles. So I like to aim for a 1% return. But you are trying to run a business, you're trying to compete with the big dogs. The big dogs are paying for marketing if you're living in a dense area. So how do you get that distance? What size hose and length? Also, what tips do you use? A lot of times I get the distance that I get by the grace of God. It's what size hose and length. So it's a 1/2-inch Curatech hose. About 200 feet, I would say, somewhere between 150 and 200. I had to shorten some up, and I've broken some and trimmed it and stuff, but it's about 200 feet. And so that is what came on the soft wash rig that I got from Southeast Soft Wash. I haven't done anything there except for kind of change out the pumps and the tips. The tips that I use is I believe like one's a Davis. It's called a Davis shooter tip. You can find that online. And then just, I don't know, they're all relatively the same. One of them is definitely a Davis shooter tip, and then there's another shooter tip that they're completely different lengths, and you get about the same result out of them. I don't buy into too many gimmicky things. If I can't reach it, I can't reach it. I'll get the ladder. I try not to spend money on like 100 different tips, because then you're taking money out of your business and fueling someone else's for something that you probably don't really need. What are we doing on time here? All right, let's do one more. Hey Eric, been watching your videos for a minute, and I'm looking into starting a soft wash business here in Georgia. Been looking at your beginning setup you had. Yeah, that was an interesting setup, and was curious of how many washes you could get out of your 100-gallon batch mix. Not looking for exact, but generally curious how long it would last. If you could let me know or point towards a video that mentions it, I would really appreciate it. Keep the good work. First off, don't batch mix. If you guys are starting out and that's all you can do, then every dollar that you make should be going immediately to getting away from batch mixing. When I was batch mixing, this fella is right. It was a 100-gallon mix, or I'm sorry, it was a 100-gallon tank. And let me stand aside for a minute. Rest this shoulder. Man, look at that view. Hope I wasn't blocking it the whole time. I tried to set it up so you guys can see. It was a 100-gallon tank. I got it from Home Depot, and usually I would put in, you know, 70 gallons of water and 30 gallons of 12% bleach. You have to figure out the ratio there, but every time that I hammered my pump, SH and water mix would come out and go on the house. Now, you could probably, so a lot of times the house wash, you're spraying a little section, because you're talking about, most pumps, at least the ones that I use, are 5.5 gallons per minute. So very few times when you're on a house are you just gunning it for 5 minutes, right? You're not doing that. You're getting a couple siding issues, or get the gutters, go around this side. You're going to do a couple sprays. You just got to get the solution on there. You're just kind of misting it. It's when you rinse it that you're using a lot of water. So you could probably get 10 gallons on a house. Out of 100-gallon tanks, you're talking about 10 house washes. That's not too bad. I mean, that could be 2-3 days worth of work, depending on how many you're doing a day. But the problem is not necessarily that you're only getting 10. 10's okay, but with a metering system, you could get 30, 40, 50 house washes out of a tank of SH. You're putting all that chlorine in there, and if you go to a really dirty house and you have a 70-30 ratio of chlorine in water in your tank, that's what you have. That's what you have for the rest of that batch mix. So if you go to a house that's extremely dirty, yeah, might have some strong chemical there, and that's going to do a really good job. But then you're going to go to another house, and really it only needs like 0.5%, 1%, but you're stuck putting 1.5%, 2.5%. You're stuck putting chemical on there that you don't need. If you are batch mixing for a roof job and you got house washes later, well, if you mix and mix and mix, so you got a nice strong house wash mix or roof wash mix, you're stuck with that for the rest of the day. So you either got to play the guessing game of dropping a hose in there after your roof wash and filling up water and trying to dilute it down. I spent way too much time on my calculator. It's not efficient. So that's how I started. And listen, you got to start that way. You got to start that way. It really doesn't cost that much more to get into a metered system. You need the meter. Typically they're like $600, if not less, and then another tank. And one tank is going to be for the chlorine, one tank is going to be for the water, and then your blend manifold is going to pull those together and pull it into your pump. That way, when you go to another job, you can on the spot adjust your meter. So back to the original question, how many jobs can you get out of it? It varies, but I would say about 10, because 10 gallons per house, at least the houses around here, for me, 10 seems to be the number. Now that I use a metering system, I can put 100 gallons on my truck of SH and work for a few weeks. That's roof washes, that's patio washes, that's house washes. I'm doing like roughly 5 a day, 20 a week. I can get through a whole week on SH, or on a tank of SH. So batch mixing is just a headache, right? It's not like it's the worst thing in the world. It's just that there is a relatively affordable way out there to make your lives so much easier. So that kind of answered the question. Then well, I did answer the question, but then I just wanted to say a little extra thing. Okay, let's do this one because I kind of touched on it in a minute with marketing, and this is going to be it. I would love to see how you got to the point of 3 to 4 jobs a day. Getting started and finding work is my biggest challenge. Marketing, 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 marketing. You have to spend, I'm talking about what I'm doing here. So I know that people are going to have an issue with, maybe they're going to have an issue with me saying $4,000 a month. It's working for me. I don't care if you're doing $1,000 a month, but you have to spend money to get that name out there. Yard signs are really, really economical. You can litter them everywhere. You should be putting them out in front of every wash that you do. I did yard signs in the beginning, but when I was using yard signs, there weren't things like UZ Marketing and really cheap like Bandit signs. I was getting them from Vistaprint, so it was expensive to leave them out in front of someone's house that might be a half hour, 45 minutes away, and then it's just gone, right? I'm too busy to go around and pick up signs. So the signs that I'm going to be getting soon, they're a little cheaper, and other guys are using them. They seem to be the most economical ones out there, and you can just put them everywhere, every major intersection. Someone's going to take them down because you're a competitor, and then you just go back and put them up next time. Leave them outside of every house. You gotta get your name out there. That is how you get 4 or 5 jobs a day. Another thing is referrals. My first year when I started, last season, I got like a couple of referrals towards the end of the season. This year, my referral game it's crazy, and I haven't done anything except for do good work and ask for referrals. You have to ask for referrals. Here's usually what I say, whether it's in text message or in person or on the phone afterwards, is hey, thank you for thanks for the opportunity to come over and do, you know, the roof wash, the house wash, whatever it is. I really hope that you are happy with the work. If you are happy with the work and the results that you have gotten, if you could do me one favor and just tell a neighbor, a family member, a friend about the work that I've done, and maybe you can share their number. It's very simple. Most people want to give referrals. You have to ask for it, though. A lot of people see you showing up. Maybe you got a nice truck, cool equipment, you're doing a really good job, you got the nice shirt on, and they might be thinking, man, I just paid this guy $700. He's doing good. He probably doesn't need any help. You know, maybe that's what they're thinking. But you say, hey, if you wouldn't mind, if you could just tell one person, tell your sister, tell your neighbor, tell your dentist about me. Tell them about me. Send them to my Facebook page, whatever it is. It takes 30 seconds. I used to work in insurance. I hated it. It was awful. I hope to never have to go back to that. But I took a lot of things away from that, and that was sales pitches and elevator speeches and asking for referrals. Sit in front of the mirror, talk to your wife, talk to your brother, sit down and say, hey, this is my speech. I want to rap it to you a couple times, interject, ask questions so I can get this down. And eventually you should be able to deliver your elevator speech to a client on the phone, on text message. I have, let's see. I don't know how well this is going to come up, so if it doesn't, I'll put it on the screen when I'm editing this. But if I go to send a text message, this is a blank text message, and I go, hold this down, I can go to my clipboard, all my saved stuff. I have all, I'll delete the junk out of here. I have all these locked things because I want to be automated. I don't want to be I don't want to be messing around with everyone on every conversation. So let's just see. I don't think I have a referral one in here, but like here. This would just kind of go after something. To wash and treat the entire roof and kill moss, which will die immediately but can take some time to fall off, is $700. So depending on the customer, depending on the property, all I got to do is just change that number and send the text. This is the safest method for your roof and one approved by the Asphalt Shingle Association of America. Roof wash and treat, blah 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 blah. Light brushing, 900. Again, depending on how much moss, you can change that number. You want to get this stuff down to where you don't have to read it, you don't have to say it. But I have all these like prompts in here, so if someone sends me a message, oh, he wants a roof wash, I can just stop for a second, go to the clipboard and send my elevator speech, send my pitch. And it's just the same with referrals. You're walking out the door, you're headed to the truck. Oh, and if you don't mind, if you're really happy with the work, please just send my name to someone else. And that's literally all you have to do. And that way you will start getting 2, 3, 4 jobs a day. Your goal is to, or at least my goal is to spend less and less on marketing as I go. So I'm trying to get in with some property groups, and they have already invited me back for some jobs next year. That's a handful of jobs that I'm going to go and I'm going to get paid for, that I don't have to market for. So you want to be looking for that kind of stuff. But I think that'll do it for today. This was a little longer than last time. This is session 2. Again, we're going to be doing this every Friday. Make sure that you drop the questions in the comment section, and I will get to as many of them as possible. All right, see you guys next time.